How did a tiny desert village with no electricity, no oil, and no hope become one of the richest, most futuristic cities on Earth in just 50 years? This is the impossible true story of Dubai. A lesson in how to build a dream out of nothing. Subscribe and turn on notifications now, because you won't want to miss the incredible journey that comes next. Before we begin our story today, I want you to do something for me. Just for a moment, look around the room you are in right now. You probably have electricity, maybe a light is on. Perhaps you are holding a phone in your hand, or sitting under a cool fan, or in a room with air conditioning. Now I want you to imagine this. Just 70 years ago, in a quiet corner of the Arabian desert, there was a land with none of those things. No electricity, no running water, no roads or tall buildings. There was almost nothing. Nothing but sand, hot sun-strong camels, and a little bit of hope. But today, that same place is called Dubai. It is a city of gold, a city of glass towers that seem to touch the sky, a city that is even testing flying taxis. It has become a place where dreams feel real, where some of the richest people in the world come to shop, to invest, to live, and to celebrate life. So how did this happen? How did a poor desert village, a place that didn't even have oil at first, turn into one of the richest, most luxurious, and most futuristic cities on our planet? Was it just good luck? Was it only because of oil? No. It was something bigger than that. It was vision. It was strong leadership. It was about taking big risks. It was about believing that even an empty desert could become a paradise. We will travel to a time when Dubai's main industry failed, leaving it with no money and what seemed like no future. We will see the moment it discovered a little bit of oil, but used that small amount to build an empire. And we will arrive in the Dubai we know today, a global city of luxury tourism and technology. This is not just a history lesson. This is a story about an impossible transformation. So please sit back and listen carefully. Because what you are about to hear will not only surprise you, I believe it will also inspire you. Let's begin. Part 1. From Sand to Survival. Before the skyscrapers, before the famous Burj Khalifa, and long before any oil was found, there was only sand. Let's go back in time to the early 1800s. At that time, the area we now know as Dubai was a very small and simple fishing village. It was located on the coast of the Persian Gulf. The only reason people lived there at all was because of a natural inlet of water from the sea. This was called the Dubai Creek. It was the heart of the village. The people who lived there were simple, tough survivors. They had to be. They were mostly from a tribe called the Bani Yas, and they followed a leader named Sheikh Maktoum bin Butti. In the year 1833, something historic happened. Sheikh Maktoum and about 800 members of his tribe decided to move. They migrated from their home in Abu Dhabi and settled near the Dubai Creek. They were looking for peace, for freedom, and for a chance to build something of their own. They started to build a small community right there by the water. This was the real beginning of the city of Dubai. But life was extremely hard. The heat from the sun was often unbearable, feeling heavy on their shoulders. Fresh water. The most important thing for life was very difficult to find. They had to dig deep wells by hand or walk for many miles just to find it. They lived in simple huts made from the leaves of palm trees. These were called arish. There were no roads, only sandy paths. There were no schools for the children and no hospitals for the sick. To travel across the sand, they used camels. For food, they depended on what the land and sea gave them. Fish from the creek, sweet dates from the palm trees, and milk from their camels. So what kept them alive? What gave them a way to survive? There were two things: The first was pearl diving. The second was trade on the sea. Before oil was discovered, pearls were Dubai's treasure. The men of the village would go out into the deep sea for months at a time. They would dive deep into the water with no oxygen tanks, no modern equipment. They would just hold their breath for long, painful minutes, diving to the bottom to collect oysters. In each oyster, they hoped to find one perfect, beautiful pearl. It was very dangerous work. Many divers died. But it was their only real hope for making a living. The pearls from Dubai were beautiful and were sold to merchants in India, Persia, and even Europe. For a short time, this brought some wealth to the small village. But then disaster struck. In the 1930s, far away in Japan, scientists invented a way to create artificial pearls. These pearls were much cheaper, and suddenly no one wanted to buy Dubai's expensive natural pearls anymore. The entire pearl industry collapsed. It was gone. Families who had depended on it became poor again. At the same time, the Great Depression was happening around the world, making things even worse. Dubai's economy was destroyed. People had no proper income. Children had no schools to go to. Women stayed at home cooking meals over wood fires and carrying water from faraway wells. There were no doctors, no electricity, and still no oil. But the Dubai Creek was still there. That small body of water gave the leaders of Dubai, the descendants of Sheikh Maktoum, a powerful idea. They thought, if we cannot live from pearls, we must live from trade. So the people of Dubai slowly and carefully started to turn the Dubai Creek into a trading hub. Even though Dubai had almost nothing to offer traders from India, Iran, East Africa, and Europe began to stop there. Why? It was because Dubai's leaders did something very smart. They didn't charge the traders any taxes. It was easy to do business in Dubai. There were very few rules and no heavy restrictions. It was all about trade. And slowly, the world started to notice this small business-friendly port. In 1892, Dubai signed an important agreement with the British. In return for protection from the British Navy, Dubai agreed that it would not make alliances with any other foreign powers. This simple deal brought stability. The British protected Dubai's ships from pirates and outside attacks. It was a small step, but a very smart one. Dubai's leaders were always thinking about the long term. In the middle of all this hardship and quiet progress, a man began to rise. A man who would quietly become the architect of the modern Dubai we know today. His name was Sheikh Rashid bin Saeed Al Maktoum. Who was Sheikh Rashid? He was the son of Dubai's ruler at that time. Born in 1912, Rashid was different from other people. While many complained about the hard life the young Rashid would go and sit by the Dubai Creek, he would just watch the wooden trading ships, the dhows, as they came in and out. And he would imagine a better future. He believed in one simple but powerful idea. We may have no oil, but we have our minds. We have ideas. If we build the future, the world will come to us. And that is exactly what he did. In the 1940s, Dubai was still just a small trading village. The economy was weak. British support was fading. Most people still lived in huts made from palm trees. There were no real roads, just paths in the sand. No air conditioning, no cars, no factories. Still, Sheikh Rashid had a plan. He said, "We will not wait for oil to save us. We will create our own opportunity." He started by strengthening trade and making plans for infrastructure. At the time, the Dubai Creek was becoming a problem. It was narrow and shallow. Sand was filling it up. Big ships couldn't enter anymore, and traders were starting to leave. Everyone said, "Let it be. We have no money to fix it." But Sheikh Rashid thought differently. He made a very brave decision. He decided to borrow a large amount of money from his wealthy neighbor Kuwait. He would use this money to dredge the creek to dig it out and make it deeper and wider so that large trading ships could enter again. This was a huge risk. If the plan failed, Dubai would be in terrible debt. Some people whispered, "This is a mistake. What if the ships don't come back?" But it worked. The deeper creek allowed big cargo ships from India, Africa, and Iran to sail right into the heart of Dubai and unload their goods. Trade exploded. The merchants who had left came back. Dubai's economy started to breathe again. This one brave decision saved Dubai from disappearing. Now that the creek was working well, Sheikh Rashid turned his attention to infrastructure. He started building roads often by hand using local workers and very basic machines. He built the first proper schools and encouraged young boys to learn how to read and work with numbers. He built a hospital, a real one, so that mothers would not lose their babies to dehydration and the terrible heat. He brought in electricity poles and systems for clean water. He even invited foreign engineers to come and help him modernize the city. But the most important thing was how he built. He built everything with the future in mind. Even though Dubai still had no oil, he planned and built as if he were a rich man. He believed, if we prepare the land, prosperity will come. Let's pause for a moment and look at what life was like at that time. Houses were still simple, made from palm leaves or mud bricks. Men wore simple, long white robes called the kandura, and women wore long black robes called the abaya. There were no fans. In the summer, people would sleep on the flat rooftops of their houses just to stay cool in the night air. Most people did not know how to read or write. Water was collected in large clay pots from deep wells. Dates, camel milk, and dried fish were still the most common foods. Social life happened in the mosques, in the markets, and in the majlis, a gathering room where men sat together, drank coffee, and discussed the day's events. And yet, people were happy. They had a new feeling hope. They could see that their leader was building something bigger, something better for their children. Finally, in 1966, after so many years of struggle, oil was discovered. It was found in a field off the coast of Dubai, and they named it the Fateh oil field, which means good fortune. But here is the interesting twist in the story. Dubai didn't have a lot of oil, not like its neighbor Abu Dhabi, which had enormous amounts. Leaders of other emirates almost laughed. They said, "Dubai has only a few drops. What will you do with that?" But Sheikh Rashid was ready. He had been preparing for this moment for years. He used that limited oil money not for luxury, not for palaces, but for his vision. What did he build with that oil money first? He started building Port Rashid in 1967. It was a modern deep-water port that could handle huge container ships. This would make Dubai a global shipping hub. He also built the Maktoum Bridge, which opened in 1963. It was the first bridge across the Dubai Creek connecting the two sides of the city, Deira and Bur Dubai. It was a symbol of unity and expansion. He expanded the airport, creating the Dubai International Airport to bring in tourists and business people from all over the world. He started housing projects, building modern houses with concrete for the citizens instead of the old mud homes. He focused on human development. He built more schools, including for the first time schools for girls. He opened modern hospitals and special clinics for mothers and babies. He didn't waste a single dollar on palaces or personal wealth. He invested it all back into the people and the city. Part 2. The Rise of a Vision. The year was 1971. A major moment in the history of the Middle East was about to happen. A decision that would shape not just Dubai's future, but the future of the entire Gulf region. For centuries, the area was known as the Trucial States, and it was protected by Britain. But now, Britain was leaving. Sheikh Rashid of Dubai and the ruler of Abu Dhabi, Sheikh Zayed, met many times in secret. They sat together in the desert, sharing a common belief. They agreed, if we want peace and progress for our people, we must unite. And so, on December 2, 1971, a kind of miracle happened. 7 Emirates. 7 small kingdoms came together to form one new country. The United Arab Emirates, the UAE. They were Abu Dhabi, Dubai. Sharjah, Ajman, Al Quwain, Fujairah, and Ras Al Khaimah, which joined a little later in 1972. Abu Dhabi, with its great oil wealth, became the nation's capital. But Dubai became the engine of innovation and business. Each emirate kept its own local freedom, but they all worked together under one flag with one president as one nation. This partnership was incredibly powerful. Sheikh Zayed of Abu Dhabi focused on using his oil wealth to develop the entire country. Sheikh Rashid of Dubai focused on building an economy that did not depend on oil to protect Dubai's future. Together, they agreed to build highways between the cities, to share resources, and to open their new country to the world. And that is when the real rise of Dubai began. Sheikh Rashid knew that the oil would not last forever, so he launched one of the biggest engineering projects in the Arab world, the Jebel Ali port. It was built about 35 kilometers from the center of Dubai in the middle of nowhere. There was nothing there but desert sand. People laughed. His advisors said, "Why are you building a giant port in the desert? No ships will come all the way out here." But he had a vision that others could not see. He said, "We are not building for today. We are building for the next 50 years." The port opened and became the largest man-made harbor in the world. It was connected to a huge industrial zone. This allowed the biggest ships from all over the world to unload their goods. It allowed factories to operate with no taxes, and it allowed products to be shipped easily across the globe. Jebel Ali Port created thousands of jobs, billions of dollars in trade, and became the foundation of Dubai's logistics empire. Then came another genius move in 1985. This idea came from Sheikh Rashid's son, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum. He came forward with a bold new idea. He asked, "What if we let foreigners own their companies 100% with no local partner and no taxes, but only in special zones?" And so, the Jebel Ali Free Zone Authority, or JAFZA, was born. It was the first free trade zone in the UAE. It offered no corporate tax, no import or export taxes, 100% foreign ownership, and an easy process for getting visas. What was the result? Thousands of global companies came running. Big names like Pepsi, Nestle, Samsung, LG, Sony, and Unilever set up their regional headquarters there. This single move transformed Dubai into the business capital of the Middle East. Dubai already had a good airport, but in 1985, Sheikh Mohammed launched something that would shock the world. A brand new airline called Emirates. It started with just 2 airplanes. The goal was to make Dubai a global hub for air travel. Again, people laughed. Other airline executives said, "You're starting an international airline with only 2 planes. Are you serious?" But Sheikh Mohammed believed in long-term thinking. They made a rule from the very beginning: the government would not interfere. The airline had to be profitable on its own. And it worked. Emirates offered better service, better food, and more comfort than its competitors. Soon, Emirates was flying to London, Mumbai, Cairo, and many other cities. By the 1990s, Emirates had become one of the top airlines in the world, bringing millions of tourists and business people to Dubai every single year. While other cities in the region were closing their doors, Dubai was opening its arms. In the late 1980s and early 1990s, the government began building beautiful beach resorts and luxury hotels. They launched huge shopping events like the Dubai Shopping Festival. The traditional markets, the souks, were cleaned up and modernized. New experiences like desert safaris and dinner cruises on traditional dhow boats were developed. They promoted Dubai as a place where ancient tradition meets modern luxury. And guess what? The tourists came, first by the thousands and then by the millions. They came for the luxury shopping, the safe and modern city life, the sunny beaches, and the exotic desert experiences. In the 1990s, Dubai started to digitize. The first modern telecom network in the region was created there. The internet and mobile phones arrived in Dubai early. ATMs, credit card machines, and online services were introduced faster than in neighboring countries. Dubai wasn't just becoming modern in its buildings, it was becoming modern in its thinking. Massive infrastructure projects continued. Even before the year 2000, Dubai had skyscrapers like the World Trade Center and modern highways and traffic systems. They created beautifully planned communities for people to live in like Jumeirah and Al Barsha. They built the Deira City Center, the first large modern mall. They also focused on bringing in foreign labor, hiring millions of workers from India, Pakistan, the Philippines, Bangladesh, and other countries to build everything at an incredible speed. The city grew fast, but it also grew in an organized and clean way. So what made Dubai so different from other places? While most countries in the Gulf depended completely on oil, Dubai built ports and airports. It created free zones. It started a global airline. It promoted tourism and luxury. It welcomed foreign businesses. It focused on trade, not just on oil. Dubai made one bold decision after another to build a future that would last long after the oil was gone. And that changed everything. Part 3. The Golden Rise. By the early 2000s, Dubai was already a rising star. It had one of the biggest ports in the world in Jebel Ali. It had one of the fastest-growing airports. It had one of the world's best airlines, Emirates. It had a business-friendly government and an image of safety, order, and luxury. But Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, who officially became the ruler of Dubai in 2006, had a far bigger dream. He famously said, "We are not competing with our neighbors. We are competing with the world." This is the point in our story where Dubai's most famous and iconic projects began. First, the Burj Khalifa. The idea started in the early 2000s. Dubai wanted to create something that the world would never, ever forget. A building so tall it would feel like it was literally touching the sky. Construction began in 2004. At the time, it was called the Burj Dubai. Over 12,000 workers from more than 100 different countries worked day and night to build it. It took 6 years to complete. The building used over 330,000 cubic meters of concrete and 39,000 tons of steel. It was designed by an American architect, Adrian Smith, to be able to withstand earthquakes and strong winds. In 2010, the building was officially opened. In a surprise move, it was renamed the Burj Khalifa. This was to honor the president of the UAE, Sheikh Khalifa, from Abu Dhabi, who had helped Dubai financially during the global financial crisis of 2009. At a height of 828 meters, it is taller than any building ever built by humans. It has 163 floors, a luxury hotel, private apartments, offices, the world's highest observation deck, and the world's fastest elevators. The Burj Khalifa became a powerful symbol of Dubai's ambition. It was a statement to the whole world that in Dubai nothing is impossible. Next came one of the boldest ideas ever imagined, a man-made island in the shape of a giant palm tree built directly in the sea. This was the Palm Jumeirah. The project was launched in 2001 and was mostly completed by 2006. It used 5.5 million cubic meters of rock and is so large that it is visible from space. The Palm has luxury villas, five-star hotels like the famous Atlantis restaurants, beaches, and shopping centers. Why did they build it? Because Dubai's natural coastline was limited and Sheikh Mohammed wanted to create more valuable seafront property. So instead of looking at what they didn't have, they decided to build it themselves. Today, the Palm is home to celebrities, billionaires, and luxury tourists. Dubai didn't just build on land, it created new land out of water. Next to the Burj Khalifa, the Dubai Mall opened in 2008. By total area, it is the largest shopping mall in the world. It has over 200 shops. But it's much more than a mall. It has a giant indoor aquarium with sharks and rays, a huge ice skating rink, a virtual reality park, and the world-famous Dubai Fountain Show outside. Over 80 million people visit the Dubai Mall every year. That is more than any other tourist attraction on Earth. The Dubai Mall isn't just a place to shop. It's a city within a city. To move all these people around the Dubai Metro was launched in 2009. It was the first driverless metro system in the Arab world. It is clean, fast, and very efficient. It runs on electricity and connects all the major landmarks and business centers. It was designed for comfort and safety with air-conditioned bridges and smart cards. It gave Dubai a world-class public transport system. From 2002 to 2008, Dubai saw one of the most important turning points in its modern story. In 2002, the government passed a law that allowed foreigners to buy property in Dubai. This changed everything. Suddenly, people from the UK, Russia, India, China, Pakistan, and all over Europe started buying apartments and villas. Real estate developers launched huge projects like Downtown Dubai, Dubai Marina, and Jumeirah Lakes Towers. Everywhere you looked, there were construction cranes. Skyscrapers were rising from the sand. Dubai became the fastest-growing city in the world. But in 2008, the world changed. A global financial crisis hit, and the world economy collapsed. Real estate prices in Dubai fell by 50% to 60%. Projects were stopped. Investors ran away. It was Dubai's darkest financial moment. But Sheikh Mohammed stood strong. The ruler of Abu Dhabi, Sheikh Khalifa, supported Dubai with a $10 billion bailout. In return, the Burj Dubai was renamed the Burj Khalifa in his honor. Dubai did not break. It adapted. The government reorganized its debts, merged some companies, and protected the image of the city. By 2010, the recovery began, and Dubai came back stronger, smarter, and more focused than before. In 2013, Dubai made another bold move. It made a bid to host Expo 2020, the first World Expo ever to be held in the Arab world. On November 27, 2013, the announcement came: Dubai had won. Fireworks exploded from the Burj Khalifa. The whole nation celebrated. Why was this so important? Because it told the world, we are not just a city. We are a platform for the future. Dubai promised to host over 190 countries, welcome 25 million visitors, and create a global conversation about mobility, sustainability, and opportunity. It brought new global respect to Dubai. By 2015, Dubai was no longer just about oil or real estate. It was about becoming a city of the future. It was focused on smart cities, artificial intelligence, and robotics. It launched a blockchain strategy. It tested flying taxis. It introduced robotic police officers and made all government services digital. At the same time, things like Ferrari police cars, gold dispensing ATMs, and seven-star hotels like the Burj Al Arab created an image of ultimate luxury that attracted billionaires, celebrities, and investors from every corner of the globe. Part 4. The Unbreakable Vision. By 2015, Dubai had already become a global leader in tourism, the business capital of the Middle East, and a city of dreams and luxury. But then came a time that the whole world will never forget. The world was hit by a virus that no one expected. Airports shut down, borders closed, economies collapsed. Cities around the world turned silent, and for a moment, the world stopped moving. Dubai, a city that depends on travel tourism and real estate, was at very high risk. Hotels were empty. Flights were cancelled. Expo 2020. The dream that Dubai had been preparing for years had to be postponed. But what did Dubai do? It acted faster and smarter than most other global cities. Dubai's response to the pandemic was fast and strict. It imposed citywide lockdowns very early. Massive sanitization campaigns ran day and night. The police used drones and thermal scanning to monitor safety. The government created quarantine centers and provided food support for poor workers. The UAE also became one of the first and fastest countries in the world to vaccinate its population. Dubai offered free vaccinations not just to its citizens, but to all its residents and workers. All government services became fully online. Business licenses, healthcare visa processing. Everything became contactless. And then Dubai reopened for tourists much faster than most other countries, but with very strict testing rules. Celebrities, influencers, and travelers came to Dubai to escape long lockdowns in their own countries. While other cities were hiding, Dubai was preparing. Originally scheduled for October 2020, Expo 2020 was postponed to October 2021. Despite the delay, Dubai went ahead and hosted the biggest global event since the pandemic began. It was a massive success. 192 countries participated. The site was a brand new city district called Dubai South, featuring the incredible Al Wasl Dome, the world's largest 360-degree projection screen. There were pavilions about sustainability mobility and the future filled with robots, drones, and ideas like the Hyperloop. Over 24 million people visited Expo 2020. It proved to the world that even after the darkest night, Dubai will rise. While many cities now plan for small, careful steps, Dubai continues to think like a kingdom of the future. Here are just some of the massive projects Dubai is building or planning right now. There is the Dubai Creek Tower, which is planned to be even taller than the Burj Khalifa. There is the Dubai Urban Master Plan 2040, a long-term strategy to make Dubai the best city in the world for living. The plan includes making 60% of Dubai's area into green nature reserves, creating more walkable communities and doubling the amount of public beaches. There is even a concept for a $5 billion project called Moon Dubai, a proposal to build a huge resort shaped exactly like the moon, which would include a realistic lunar walking experience and a training facility for astronauts. Dubai isn't just looking at Earth, it's looking at space. The UAE's Hope probe was launched in 2020 and successfully entered Mars's orbit in 2021, making the UAE the first Arab country to ever reach Mars. There are now plans for a Mars Science City in the desert to simulate Martian life, all to prepare for future space travel. It's as if Dubai is saying, "We once built the tallest building on Earth. Now we aim for the stars." To prepare for this future, Dubai also launched golden visas. These are long-term visas for 5 or 10 years for skilled professionals, investors, artists, and entrepreneurs. This has encouraged talented people from all over the world to come and live and work in Dubai without worrying about their visa expiring. This has turned Dubai into a safe and welcoming home for digital nomads, tech founders, billionaires, YouTubers, doctors, teachers, and students. Today, Dubai has more than 200 nationalities living together in harmony. Let's pause and look back. This land was once nothing. Nothing but sand heat and hardship. Nothing but camels and simple palm huts. There was no water, no buildings, and for many, no hope. But through bold leadership, a clear vision, massive risk-taking, and an unbreakable belief, Dubai became one of the greatest city-building stories in human history. This is not just a story of buildings and malls. This is a story of believing when no one else believed, of building when there was no money, of rising when everyone expected failure. Dubai teaches us that if you believe in your vision and you work like no one else, you can build a future that the world will admire. So now you have heard it all. The full story of Dubai, a city that had no water, no electricity, no oil in the beginning, no roads, no hope, just sand and a dream. But the dream was not enough. The people and their leaders had to take risks. They had to face failure. They had to work day and night in the heat and the silence, and they had to believe in a future that they could not yet see. Dubai is not just a place on a map. It is a lesson for the whole world. Because while many cities waited to see what the future would bring, Dubai built it. They didn't say, "We will see what happens." They said, "We will make it happen." And that is the reason why today people from all over the world come to Dubai to live, to work, to dream, and to rise. Here are a few life lessons we can take from Dubai's amazing story. 1. Your beginning does not decide your future. Dubai started with almost nothing. You too can start small, but dream big. Invest in people, not just in buildings. Dubai built schools and hospitals and gave homes to its people. True growth happens when humans grow. 3. Prepare before success comes. Dubai built its ports, airports, and roads before the oil money came. Always prepare the ground. Opportunity comes to those who are ready. 4. Don't just copy the world, surprise it. While others followed the old rules, Dubai broke them and created its own style. You don't have to be like everyone else. 50 years ahead. Most people only think about tomorrow. Dubai's leaders always thought about the next 50 years. Always play the long game. 6. When a crisis comes, don't break. Adapt. Dubai recorded the many failures, the fall of the pearl industry, the 2008 crash, the pandemic. But every time it came back stronger. So can you. And 7. Respect. Every worker, from the ruler to the laborer, everyone helped to build Dubai. Never forget that success is a team effort. If Dubai can rise from the desert, you can rise from your own moments of darkness. If Dubai can go from zero to a global icon, you can go from fear to freedom. Your dream may look impossible today, but if you build it step by step, one day, the world will be there to clap for you. Thank you for watching this full story. If you loved it, please don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories and life-changing lessons. This is not just a channel. This is your journey of transformation. I will see you in the next video. And remember, even the desert can bloom.